start recording. Hi, I'm the Multiverse Maker. Today's video is a fusion video of Marvel and DC characters. And I have three for you that are pretty cool in all designs. And I guess you guys get to see my struggle and my opinions on these ones. So let's get right to it. First fusion. First fusion is of Venom and Superman, which I actually quickly changed that, but I'll explain why. If you Google Venom fused with Superman, you'll come across a lot of images of basically Venom's body with a Superman logo and cape, or the cape can be interchanged out with Superman's red underwear on his suit that he has in some of his designs. Yeah, I decided not to go that route. Not because it didn't look good, those designs did look pretty cool, but I didn't want to go that route. So, I decided to change out Superman for someone who is related and, well, technically related to Superman, and with an origin that might lead to a cooler, design overall. So I swapped out Boy Wonder with his defective clone, Bizarro. Now, this is the Bizarro from, DCUO, the online DC game, and the comics, and not the Bizarro from the Superman and Lois TV show. So it's not that Bizarro, if anyone needs clarification for that. But the character design is kind of based from the story that I came up with. So I'll go ahead and tell you the story, then I'll talk about a little bit more of the design. So, okay, story time. Lex Luthor gained a unknown alien genetic sample from a benefactor that he met a long time ago. Lex gave this sample to his scientists so that they can go ahead and analyze it and see what this sample can do. And his scientists discovered that this sample of unknown origin had the capability of regenerating cells and regenerating an organism on the cellular level, even on microscopic level, which both are the same. So, hearing this, Lex ordered his scientists to apply this to the Superman cloning procedure to see if this will stabilize the genetic structure. That way they can have, or he can have, a Superman soldier of his own. So the Lex scientists went ahead and did so. So when they cloned the Superman, or using Kryptonian DNA, in the past, like with Bizarro, the genetic coding degraded. So you had a defective Superman clone, which is what Bizarro is. The scientists went ahead and added the unknown genetic sample to the Kryptonian DNA, hoping to avoid that same incident or that same result like with Bizarro. So they proceeded, and it worked. The genetic sample stabilized the genetic coding of the Kryptonian DNA during the cloning process, and it seemed to have enhanced it. So the clone was standing in a room. It followed orders just fine. But then something happened. It started to smile. And one of the Lex scientists noticed that one of the arms, the arms started turning black from the hands going up the arm, and the legs soon followed. The clone turned to one of the scientists, grabbed it, it opened its mouth, revealing a set of sharp teeth that was not there a minute ago, and a long, elongated tongue came out, wrapping around the scientist's head. And the clone ate the scientist's head. Then a black mass started to grow from the clone's body around his head, forming a black, oily substance around his head. And where his eyes would be were pure white, like bug dome things that formed around its eyes. He then started to go on a rampage through the lab, starting to try to eat some of the scientists. Lex ordered some of his machines to neutralize and destroy the clone. But as the machine started to fire at the clone, it did nothing. It just pissed it off even more. It lunged at one of the machines, ripping it from the ground and destroying it. It threw it at the wall, making a hole through the wall to the outer part of the city. Lex, seeing this, ordered his men and the machine to open all fire to prevent it from leaving. So they did. But as before, the shots and fires did nothing because of the Kryptonian genetics. This thing was essentially bulletproof. And with it having capabilities of flight, the creature just flew through the hole in the wall, escaping and evading Lex's forces. So, a new force was let into the world, or birthed into the world, that is a monstrous creature far worse than Bizarro or Superman's powers combined. So, this design was a bit of a interesting thing to work on. So, you'll see this towards the end of the video, but I changed the head towards the end. I did not like it. I tried to have a whole thing of like, it still had a human face, but the skin and everything just like started to turn black and around his eyes becoming white, like how Venom's eyes are. It did not look right, and plus with how I drew the head, it looked a lot like Joker, just with many scars on his face, and I did not like that whatsoever. Like, it looked like a juiced up Joker cosplaying as Superman with black paint on his hands, and I did not like that. Of course, that'd be a little bit funny to see Joker do that, just pretending to be Superman and doing the whole Boy Scout routine. But, yeah, I did not like that. So, towards the end, I just went ahead and decapitated this drawing and drew a new head, which, depending on where this is at in the video, you probably have already seen me do that. But, the design overall for this character was honestly pretty cool. I wanted to try it, like, keep it to like a classic comic book look, so not really many like differentiating colors. Like, I kept it kind of close to how Bizarro's is, which it has like a purple blue color to it, with like the red underwear, red shoes, and cape and everything. Which, speaking of the cape, I actually have it like around the shoulders. You can see where the red fades into black, and the S, there's a black border around it. I wanted that to be like that of the symbiotes also showing there. I don't know if it makes sense design-wise, but I think it looks cool. Um, my personal thing on this, I feel like I could have done a little bit more on like the symbiote, the Venom part of this, because besides the head swap that I did towards the end, it doesn't really, it's not very obvious except for like the head area that this is a Venom Superman fusion. Like black hands with claws and skin turning black and ripped and transforming suit. There's a lot of cases in DC Comics and Marvels where a character can look like that and has nothing to do with Venom. So, yeah. I felt like I could do a little bit better on that. Yeah. Probably next time when I do a symbiote character, if I do another one. I still have to roll a die to figure that out. And yes, by rolling a die, I mean a dice. I have like two 20-sided dice on my desk that with these fusions I'm just doing that, which is kind of the reason why the next one seems like a very weird fusion, and let's go ahead and move on to that. But first, the final results. Okay, next up is Heatwave and Wolverine. Now, this is a interesting one. Heatwave and Wolverine. You would not consider those two to be on the list of fusing characters, but so I did. And it turned out pretty good. Now, this will look very much different than the Superman one for both look and style wise, which I will go ahead and talk about that in a little bit. But first, I want to tell you the story about this character and how this story that came with it helped me with my design. So here we go. Wolverine, this story takes place when Wolverine went to Stryker, made a deal with him to put the metal adamantite on his skeleton, giving him his metal claws. Because before that, Wolverine had bone claws. During the procedure where Logan was having the metal injected onto his skeleton, Stryker performed an additional procedure to Logan. He modified his claws along with implanting a fire reactor core thing in Logan's chest. That the modifications that were done to his claws are connected. So he could essentially rev up the fire that's in his chest to have the heat or the fire bursts come out from his claws, essentially having like mini flamethrowers on through his claws. That way he can just either ignite stuff from afar, or when he stabs someone they can burn from the inside. He knew Logan, once he fully recovered, which probably would have taken less than 10 seconds, was going to be pissed and more or less attempt to kill Stryker. So Stryker, like at the end of the Logan movie, the origin one, not the one with Old Man Logan, erased his memories. Once Logan recovered from having his memories erased, like having a gunshot done to the head, like from the movie, Logan was fed a lie. He was told a false history that he was one of Stryker's most loyal soldiers, that he was a volunteer for a project to enhance his overall being to be Stryker's ultimate weapon to protect the world. Logan, not knowing any better, believed what Stryker said and became one of Stryker's most powerful and loyal soldiers, and Stryker gained a immortal fire weapon. So this one, like I said before, is not a very obvious fusion. Heatwave and Wolverine, besides anger management problems on both ends, there's not really much of any commonality between the two. So I had to do some deep search on the web to find a version of Heatwave that I could use with this fusion. Because if you look at Wolverine, say like the classic design, which is what I'm mainly taking from on like the suit design a little bit, Heatwave's, his is just essentially like a fire retardant suit with a mask that is pure white with orange lining. That is completely different than Wolverine's, which is like a black, yellow, and blue sort of thing. And also, side note, Wolverine in the comics has the hairiest arms in existence. So I decided to do a full bodysuit because I am not drawing hair. That is something I do not want to do, at least at this current point in time. So I did a full bodysuit, but this is where the fire core chest thing comes in. I found an image of Heatwave from like I think Earth 22 or something like that. People in the please correct me in the comments below. But this version of Heatwave had fire powers of his own and had like a furnace thing in his chest. So I decided to take that element and attach it to Wolverine, making the modifications to his claws, like I said in the story, to where he can utilize like a flamethrower aspect from his claws. And his suit, well, it would be fire retarded, yes. I kept close to how Wolverine's suit looked originally. I made those shoulder pad pointy things that he has into like a metal thing to make it look like armor or some sort of like armor, heat resistant armor. And I added what was supposed to be like heat goggles onto his mask where his eyes would be. And looking at the image as I'm like telling you guys this, he kinda looks like he has old man glasses, not gonna lie. Yeah, that's not something I was intending. And to push come to shove, I gave him a little bit of stipple on his face, and I gave him a smug ass smile because Logan and Heatwave, they both have instances, Logan more so I think, has instances where he just has a smug smirk, a smug smile to him, and that's just how it is with Logan, I guess. He enjoys when he's right about things, which I don't blame him on that. But yeah, that is my Heatwave and Wolverine fusion. Have a look at the final result, and then on to the next fusion. So the next fusion is more of a magical one. It is combining DC Comics Raven with Marvel Comics Moon Knight. Now, on this one, I kind of lean more heavier on Raven's design than I did Moon Knight's, mainly because I did a female fusion in a past video. It was Harley Quinn and Thor. I needed to redeem myself. I did not like how that one came out. I still posted it. You guys can see it if you want. But I did not like it. I wanted to redeem myself. So I really focused first thing on just drawing this character's face. I wanted to draw the face first because that is something I really needed to work on. Because I don't draw females that often. Not really at all. Actually, well, human ones. So drawing the human face of a female character, I will admit, stressed me out a little, but I think I did really good. But before I continue, story time. Like before, these stories help me get the design of these characters. In an epic battle between Raven and her father Trigon, Raven had her powers stolen by Trigon's most loyal servant, Brother Blood, and in turn, him obtaining Raven's powers. Raven, managing to escape the battle unseen by her father and Trigon afterwards, went to her collection of tomes and books to find a way to retrieve her powers. And in one of these books, Raven came across a story/legend of a heavenly figure, a moon god, that could grant any wish for a price. Raven, in act of desperateness, performed a ritual to summon this moon god, and so she was successful. She summoned the moon god Khonsu. It was an Egyptian god, so it was a unusual looking being, a creature with a man's body and a bird's head. Raven requested Khonsu, or demanded, that he return her powers back to the way they were. That way she can defeat her brothers and her father. Khonsu, looking at Raven and understanding the direness of the situation, said that he will do this on one condition. One day he will call upon her to perform an action, and she must perform this action without any hesitation or question. Raven, knowing the urgency, quickly said yes to Khonsu's demands, saying that she will perform these acts without any hesitation or concern or question, as long as he holds up his end of the deal. Khonsu, hearing this, agrees and gives Raven her powers back, but with a bit of added power. He gave Raven some of his power. That way she could combat not just Trigon and her brothers, but Brother Blood as well, who now has her powers as well. And Raven, with the power of the moon at her side and her magic restored, is now capable and willing to fight Trigon, her brothers, Brother Blood, and protect this city. So this one, I really think is the best out of the three. So as you can probably tell from the story, I didn't really pull much of Moon Knight's design, except for like the white and like the moon that I have on, like drawn on Raven's stomach area. I more pulled on one of the Egyptian gods that Moon Knight is connected to, I guess. I will be 100% honest, I don't know truly too much about Moon Knight. I know he has like multiple personalities, and like each one is like connected to an Egyptian god or something. But I wanted to go ahead and just change up her suit primarily and make the gem thing, or if I recall correctly, there was a gem thing that was holding Raven's like cloak area around her neck together. I wanted to make that bigger and just add a more interesting design to her general look, which I honestly really liked. I love the bit where I have like a crescent moon thing that she's holding on with her right hand, and it's the moon engulfed in what would be her magic, and then if you look down, going down to her right knee, you can just see more see-through versions of that same blade, following a trail of her magic, acting like she has 5 of those blades following with her attacks or her spells. And I honestly really like how this one turned out. It's one of the more better female character designs I've done, and I don't really do those that often, so I really like this, and I do feel a lot more confident. So probably next time I'll do another character that's a female, since I do feel more confident with this one, because to me, I struggle with the face. Whenever I draw female characters in the past, I always make their jaws too rigid, or they look too much like a man in the face. And I'm not going like a drag queen like look to them, even though there are some drag queens in real life that actually can pull off a better female look than most females. Anyway, I really like this one. It leaned more on the idea of her meeting one of the gods that Moon Knight is associated with than actually integrating any of his stuff, besides like the moon and the color of the suit and everything. But yeah, I really like this, and the story makes sense for how the character looks. I think the stories that I've done for these characters all make sense, and honestly it helps with, at least for me, with these designs. So yeah, if you want a better look at these ones, they're going to be posted up on Pixiv. That's where I post up a lot of my stuff. I'll go ahead and leave a link to my one there. That way you guys can go ahead, take a closer look at these characters and some of the other ones that I've done so far, which those ones also have videos on my channel. There are links should be links on majority of those ones. But if you guys also want to see the past Fusion video, is on my channel. I should have it linked in the description. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it, and yeah, I hope you guys like these fusions. I know I had fun doing them, and I'm probably going to have another set done up next week as well. And if I recall correctly, they're going to be a little bit weirder ones, not just solely DC or Marvel. So that honestly is going to be trickier, along with one of them, if I recall correctly, kind of scares me. So I hope you guys have a lovely day, and have a good day as well. A lovely, good day. I gotta work on the outro. Anyway, yeah. thanks for watching, and don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. And hey, since I'm new to the whole YouTube environment, YouTube sphere still overall, even though I've been doing this for a little over a year now, go ahead and subscribe. Even if you just say subscribe just to support me doing this, and I don't know, barely watch any of my videos, even though watching them would definitely help. Even if you just have them play on loop in the background, that would greatly be appreciative. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, and yeah, see you in the next video. Bye bye.